Today we have yet another story that shows a great trend in my opinion. Cancel culture is weakening. Before we begin the story, guys, make sure to drop a like on this video. It helps in terms of search and discovery. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of the newest videos. Now this story is great because it shows us how cancel culture is losing power and it's mostly limited to the US. Let me give you a little background before we dive into it. So there's this game that's been getting a lot of attention lately, and it ruled Twitch as the #1 most viewed game for a whole week now. Thanks a lot to a promotional event that they had in-game together with Twitch. The game is Escape from Tarkov by Battlestate Games. I have been playing it since early November and I must say it's a breath of fresh air. I never thought they could make a survival military simulator that combines MMORPG elements so well, and in my opinion it could easily be the game of 2020 because of how refreshing it is as a game in a sea filled with unoriginal regurgitated crap. Now, as probably some of you have surmised from the name of the game, it's Russian sounding because the developer is Russian, and so is most of the team behind the game. One of the reasons this game is so good is because it has a vision that the developer refused to compromise on, but he is also open to suggestion from the games community, which is the best blend as far as I'm concerned when you make a game. Whenever you reach the top, you get some more eyes on you, and that means more hit pieces coming your way, with terrible gaming journals coming after you as well. This latest witch hunt, however, started when a random gaming journal that is not even a blue checkmark yet brought back an old controversy about the game by sharing a Discord screenshot that misrepresents the situation entirely. Keep in mind that the developers of the game are Russians and there's some language barrier situation going on here as well. Whenever this game comes up, it's always a good idea to let people know that the devs are not going to put female characters in the game because they think women, quote, are not allowed to be in a war, since, quote, women can't handle the stress of real combat. Did you consider having female characters playable? We considered that, but we came to the conclusion that women are not allowed to be in the war. But these days, women are in the military. I can agree with you, and we discussed it for a very long time, but we came to the conclusion that women can't handle the amount of stress. There's only place for hardened men in this place. Now if you read the answers again, you can see there's a little bit of English in there, and it's obvious that the statement doesn't come off as tactful, mostly because of the language difference. Now if we go to a more recent article on VG 24/7, you can see the official response of Battlestate Games. The answers were done by one, not a key BSG employee, which probably were misinterpreted and as a result didn't reflect the official position of the company that we always respected women in wars and military women. The employee was reprimanded and properly instructed. We are sorry for caused confusion. Just to finally clear the question about women in EFT. First, there are women in EFT already. Trader and some future key storyline quests will have women as main characters. But there will be no playable female characters because of game lore and, more importantly, the huge amount of work needed with animations, gear feeding, etc. Now this I can respect. This is a developer with his game in mind that won't capitulate to the very vocal minority that won't even buy his game anyway. Tarkov is a very high adrenaline milsim shooter, and those little lilies from places like Resetera who will eventually go after this game will never actually bite no matter what. We saw what happened to Battlefield 5 gender studies when it tried to cater to this crowd, and keep in mind it's a less hardcore game than Tarkov. Battlefield 5 failed miserably with an installment that may have killed the entire franchise, at least for a while. Not only does BSG recognize that they won't get nowhere by catering to those idiots, they also refuse to reallocate important resources that could make the game better just so they could appease the SJW crowd. I can't help but look at NBA 2K20, which has soured me on the entire series. They chose to add the WNBA for seemingly no good reason other than virtue signaling. Despite of how unoriginal and shitty the game has been for a couple of years, it's been riddled with tons of bugs, lag, and lack of a full roster considering it's the leading basketball franchise. Why couldn't they make the EuroLeague roster instead of the WNBA? Why not fix the shitty lag-filled 2K servers, which are a meme at this point, when you can virtue signal in a sport game with an overwhelmingly majority male player base? There's nothing that I love more than making layups all game so I can feel woke. The developer of Tarkov obviously has a vision in mind for the game, and female combatants are not part of that. The statements, who could have been way better articulated, were due to a bad grasp of the language and were not malicious in intent. The developer team is filled with good old Russian boys who couldn't care less about your virtue signaling. They are creating a game that looks like it would be one of the greats out there for a while, and they should not be concerned with the opinion of bought and paid for shitty gaming journals who know nothing about the game. I'm done for this video, guys. Don't forget to drop a like on it and join the discussion in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.